leaving the corner. We got to, I believe, 27 teams this year actually physically talk to when it comes to ACE and our adaptive coaching engine. So that tool alone has over 6,000 adjustments currently, and we'll be updating throughout the season just as we did last year.
Strip.
Foul. There we
Good
go.
foul.
All right.
Good
Calm
foul.
it down. Calm it down.
Julius Randle, hopefully
Yes.
his 15 feet plus, he can extend that game a little bit.
Let's get that green.
'Cause he's going to need to.
I mean, he was coming off ACL, MCL, right? Or was it just
I think it was just
MCL?
I think it was a
knee.
break.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it was a break.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it usually takes over a year. I mean, it takes 2 years, so I think you can expect kind of a breakout.
Well, also,
Julius
a
this
lot
year.
of things that are, you talk about the success of the Warriors and Draymond Green. Luke Walton had a lot to do with, helping Draymond grow into the player he was. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see what he could do with this young Lakers team.
Yeah, I love Randall a lot in Kentucky. I don't know, to be honest, how he currently fits in this NBA that we have now. That these fours really got to stretch.
Ronnie's hitting
Definitely like a
everything.
more agile Zebo. But his handle's definitely underrated too.
Oh,
That's not a foul. Not getting any love here.
Shabazz.
Chris,
Boss.
next possession, maybe we would have come down and tap that that LB L1.
That's right.
And start down there.
And Ronnie
20 to
will not
7.
miss, but
Chris is just about getting this thing under 10.
That's all right.
Okay,
Ronnie
that's a
playing
long
well.
game. Oh,
You can see there they were leaving him totally.
I got to get it on the boards. Or I'm gonna
The AI, you're going to see a lot more one pass away, leaving exceptions. Usually that's the rule. You never leave there. And if there's
that
bad
was
shooters,
a total heat check.
5s, 4s out there, they will definitely come down and help.
And that's out of bounds. So good look at Brandon Ingram there.
Just gotta
That's the
slow it
future right there
down,
for
and
us.
I'm playing for one here.
Extending pressure, as some of you guys may have been able to see, you can do that now in the options menu as well.
Ronnie's playing like a pro right now. I got to stop button 3 in replays.
Got to contain that basketball.
Minnesota's super underrated in this game.
They're
athletic.
very athletic.
They're very
Very
good.
athletic.
Very athletic.
good.
I mean, if a couple of their guys that are shooters can play up to their level, Brandon Rush, Chris Dunn, some of the guys that can actually shoot on the team, they're going to be scary. And if Wiggins takes that next step,
Wow.
Yeah, which I
and
think
Carl
he will.
doesn't have a second. Carl doesn't have a sophomore slump. I really doubt that. The guy's a monster.
Yes, absolutely.
Not a good ideal quarter there.
Oh,
for
this is
me.
my favorite part. Cheerleaders throwing T-shirts in the crowd.
Yes.
One chunk at a time, Chris. One chunk at a time.
Yeah.
Something I don't know how many times I said to our fellas, and I know they're watching GFG
Yep.
back home.
I don't get nervous because I know it's a long game.
To be honest, I've also been extremely serious
and playing all
not
day.
talking. And you,
True. We're on. Let's see. Let's go back to broadcast. Scott, you want to talk about your camera real quick?
The good old winners win
winners
camera.
win.
All right, so check
winners
this out.
Winners win is
Scott,
kind of
whoa.
winners win is
What
that
is going on
combination
here?
between guys who really like to be on the floor, be close, but yet be in a semi 2K or broadcast cam. So there's a bunch of different options here for you to
Yes.
choose to.
So you see the swing through right there.
Yep.
Yeah, my guys are not playing D right now.
The right stick up is your friend this year. Definitely use that. You can use it to steal, hands up. It's definitely something I suggest.
camera is interesting. I love it. Just a different angle on the
Yep.
game.
Man,
There's
oh,
different
man.
options
I
to
cannot-
back
I
it
cannot
up.
buy a
The
basket right
Lakers are not hitting any shots right now.
now. Nothing.
Good
Good
foul.
foul.
I'd like to know from the guys in the chat, man, what archetypes are they picking?
Yeah, for
You know
sure.
what I'm saying? I would like to. Very
know,
curious from
I'm
everything
thinking
that
It's
they've
just
seen.
not about
I'm
making the
thinking,
best player you can be. It's also about like getting the who you're playing with, right? I'm going to be running alongside my point guard, so I need a two guard that can be a shot creator. So I'm
Yeah.
going to go with
Nice.
that kind of archetype. Somebody that can create shots. I like to take shots and create shots out of nothing.
I think I'm going to be
What about
a
you, Ronnie?
playmaking small forward. or
Really?
or
I have not heard
I mean,
that
I
one
liked,
so much
yeah,
yet. Not like that's not a good one. There's definitely a lot
I've
of
always,
pros to that.
you know, whenever I would play Pro-Am or play on the park or just a variety of, or in career, my goal wasn't to score 60 points a game, even though I could score. It was to try to get triple doubles. And that was kind of like how I like playing in high school and college too. So it just gives me that opportunity to play like I. Oh, that was not a good
We're
pass.
seeing a lot of stuff out here. I'm reading stretch bigs, paint protectors, a 7-3 post score. That's not bad. Speed, you're going to take a hit on. So that was very common
cool.
last year for that guy to play as the biggest dude, and he was really agile. Don't forget too that I know you've probably read it. Some of you guys that are super into the forums and all that and blogs is the fact that we have speed with dribble and without. So something to take note on. A 5.7 glass cleaner. There you go. That's good. That's good.
You're gonna jump.
I'm trying to be patient right now.
Well, this camera is fun when it swings. Oh, you got the match
Oh,
up there. Oh, you should
cat.
have taken the match up. Oh,
Good
extra
swing.
pass.
Good
Oh,
extra
boy.
to the corner.
Hey,
Here
we
it
hit a
comes.
shot, Scott OG.
Here he comes.
No.
Tables have turned.
There's Shake. Yes, Shake. That is true.
You know, I gotta say,
Good D,
I'm liking this more and more as we're playing this.
Yeah, it takes a bit to get used to. That's for sure. I mean, there was nothing, but that's kind of when you're going through different camera angles. That's what you want to hit. So it's
Yeah.
not. Oh, hey, let's just create another edition
That's
off
right,
of
right.
broadcast or something else. You know, we'll continue to iterate and mess around with it. But the idea is what's
Scott,
is
I mean, you're so focused on gameplay. What are you most looking forward to from a feature mode perspective?
the Pro-Am.
Yeah.
The Pro-Am, man. The Pro-Am is just the way it took off last year, and now, like you and I talked about, how we mentioned the archetypes and everything. That's just there's a whole different strategy.
Yeah.
Like when we go on Friday, and guys really start getting after it. It's like, oh man, you created a playmaker. Like I have
Right.
guys hitting me up all the time, DMing me of like, you're a sharpshooter, right? You know, there's a legit conversation, and I didn't even mention to all the off-ball post tools that we gave you this year. There's over 500 anims just in that system alone. So the battle within
Wow.
the battle is huge. You can deep seal, you can spin. There's a whole push and pull mechanic. Defensively, if you use the right stick, now you can chuck and pull their hips, which has a foul, bigger foul chance and stuff like that. So there's all these different tools that you didn't have last year.
And
So-
one thing we haven't even talked about with Pro-Am, and I'm going to kind of drop a little bit of exclusive news here, you can
Yeah.
actually get scouted on Pro-Am, and players can look for each other in it. So it's
Mm-hmm.
going to be very fun, this Friday when the game drops and players are kind of starting to create their my players and looking at what kind of positions are available and people to find to play with,
Yeah.
start building those teams. So there's a whole element of that, too, that's going to be really cool this year.
It's going to really start separating, these guys who like to dribble a lot or like to be playmakers and a lot less shooters and distributors as opposed to guys that can just straight knock it down.
One, come on, get in there. All right.
I'm glad you brought up Pro-Am as well, Chris, because a lot of people have been asking about when we're going to talk about it from a announced strategy. And Pro-Am's Pro-Am news is going to come probably after launch, and the reason for that is we have a lot of focus. You guys have mentioned the esports road to the finals. We have some big news coming on that. Obviously, people already know that we're talking about another big cash prize, a road to All-Star, and some other things. So we'll have more on that as it comes. But one thing that we can say that came out of the community events was that the whole you'll be able to go from park to Pro-Am. You'll be able to acquire sponsors. There's a lot of really cool things going on with that mode. And here I go and I'm talking and I'm struggling. So I'm gonna stop doing that.
You're doing just fine.
Then the other thing that we haven't talked about, every other mode we've talked about today, obviously we talked about My Team. If you have
There's a new
not
strip.
seen that blog, you are missing out. It is awesome.
Yes.
So I would definitely check out the My Team blog if you haven't. But the one mode that we haven't talked about yet is, of course, My Park. We have something very cool coming there.
Yes.
We're just not 100% sure it's going to be ready for a trailer by launch. We're hopeful, but it's not quite ready. So we're not sure. It takes time with the approvals and stuff like that. So we're hopeful, but it might be early next week. So those are the two things that we haven't discussed yet. But there's a lot of good stuff in a lot of modes, and there's a lot of good stuff in those two modes. We just haven't been able to get those trailers out yet. But we do still have 2 more trailers. I mentioned one a little bit earlier, by the way. Chris, you see my tweet?
Oh, there's our new tip-ins.
Yeah, I was going to try to tip it in there.
Nice.
Normally I probably wouldn't try to tip that in, but I wanted to show that off. So yeah, you hold square down.
Oh, you may need a TO here, Chris.
Huh?
You may need a TO. Let's get a TO.
I'm gonna go one more possession.
All right. That may be one possession too late, Chris.
We're gonna.
All right.
Oh, look
Swing
at
to
that!
the
Wide
other
open.
side of the floor.
That
Oh,
was
you
a
proved
nice
me wrong. There you go.
Scott,
Good feel,
I have
Chris.
I got
Good
my
feel,
winners win tips from
There
the
you
broadcast last year. I got them in my head.
Now you need to
But
press.
you're right, though, but
Now
you
you
know-
need to press right on that D-pad.
Yep, and that is not a good look. Let's go. We're here. This is a really cool camera. It gets really close to the action. Pretty easy.
Yeah,
to
we're pretty
control
happy
close.
with some of with the community
Yeah.
guys. Some guys are gonna love it, other guys are gonna hate
Right.
it. There's just different.
Totally.
I'm still a old style, broadcast
Yeah,
guy.
me too.
Uh, but
we're gonna switch. To that
guys
in a
look at me crazy if I don't play 2K.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? But like in the
That's
Pro-Am or in the
Yeah,
park,
be on
I'd play
skates,
2K.
Chris.
minute. Yep. I'm still. The funny thing, you saw that air ball there. If you look at where I aimed it, you still have to get used to the right stick, shot, aiming it. You just pull it away or pull it. I pulled it down there. It's something that's going to definitely take some getting used to.
Definitely, and it should.
Yeah, but once you get used to it, though, it's pretty nice in terms of like what you're able to.
Yeah, we really want to separate, and have that guy.
Yeah, right.
Somebody like last year in the tournament, you could say,
Yeah.
hey,
Block on me. Yep.
Bud 2407. He's
Oh,
that
run
guy.
the floor.
Take a timeout.
Oh, you gotta let that play. You gotta let that replay play.
All right, we're gonna
That's an
switch.
alley.
We're gonna
Yeah.
switch camera angles so I can get back in this game. We can go to
There
good
you
old
go.
broadcast.
Yeah, good
generic.
old broadcast. How do you guys feel about the new sounds? Makes the game feel
Oh my
completely
God.
different, doesn't
Love
it?
it.
Yeah.
And the custom ones per arena. I mean,
That's-
it's more like
that-
Staples than ever before.
Scott, some of these adjustments that you can make during timeouts, what are the fans looking at right